It's time. Right Path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Jason Bible. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now.
Taking calls at
713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Jason Bible.
Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. It's Monday, and what I like to talk about on Monday is what I did over the weekend. And if you've been listening to the show for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about our Right Path Weekend Retreat. That was this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I want to give big thanks to our sponsors that came out and taught their particular part of the business. We had Quest IRA out there. Nate was giving us the ins and the outs of what's going on in the IRA world, the self-directed world. We had some really fascinating discussions actually about that. If you're following anything in the news, there's been some interesting things happen in the IRA world. Highly recommend some bills that have been proposed here during this election season. We also had Daryl Dyke out there with Noble Mortgage. So it's always good to have Daryl out there giving us the update on what's going on in everything financing with hard money and long-term financing and short-term and all the different products that are coming out for real estate investors in order to be able to leverage their returns. And we had Fast Track and Fast Track Roofing Remodeling or Fast Track Remodeling. It's pretty cool. They've done, I don't know, it's got to be close to 800 houses now. It's a ton of houses that they've done. And before their presentation, they shared a video with us of the worst termite damage they've ever seen. It was mind-blowing. But what was great about it is that here was an investor who had bought a house and did not anticipate this enormous expense. In fact, this oversight, this mistake, if you will, cost them an extra $25,000 in the deal. And before Fast Track got up there to give their presentation, I had an hour-long talk on gross margin of a deal and how important margin is in a deal. And this investor, even though they had a $25,000 increase in their budget, they'll probably be able to break even, if not make a little bit of money on the deal. So it was just a great weekend to have all these high-quality folks come in and present to the group. The group of folks that were there, it amazes me the people that are attracted to the classes that we give. They are a very high-quality group of folks. We had a handful of new investors, but the vast majority of the folks in that room were already doing deals all the way up to guys that have done 30, 40, 50 deals in their short real estate career. It was really a great event. I'm trying to keep from losing my voice because you end up talking all weekend, and it was just a heck of a lot of fun. And I'll tell you some of the other things that happened during the weekend. It's fascinating. So Friday, we get to the hotel, we get everything set up. Friday evening, I had a couple of networking events to go to. Actually, Thursday night, I had some networking events to go to as well. And Saturday and Sunday, when Tom wasn't on stage, he actually bought 2 houses. So while I was up presenting, he would zip off to the lobby there out in front of our conference room and get on the phone, and then would come back and go, "Oh, we just bought another one." So it was a heck of a lot of fun. I also had to close 4 deals from the stage, and which was pretty funny because somebody grabbed me later and said, "Well, was that staged?" And I said, "No, it wasn't. We tried to close them Thursday, but this past Friday was end of the month for everybody, and that's a big deal for loan officers and for title companies. They want to get all their numbers in by the end of the month. So I had to close on 2 houses we were buying and 2 houses we were selling literally from the stage in order to get everything done on time. So, we are active real estate investors in this market, very active. I just did the math last week just because somebody had asked. To date, we have bought 97 houses. Yeah, 97 houses. Our average acquisition and rehab is somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000. So, that's somewhere between $10 and $15 million in real estate that we've bought and fixed up. The sale price on those things, probably around $175,000 to $200,000. So, we're moving, just our little company is moving $25 to $30 million in real estate a year that we actually go out and buy and own. It's just, it really is amazing how fast this thing has grown. And that's one of the discussion points we have with a lot of folks. It's like, well, how did you grow it so fast? Well, how did you start? That's usually the first question. Like, how did you start? What's your story? That sort of thing. And then how did you continue to have it grow? And, it's amazing. A lot of the stuff that we talk about is not, it's not revolutionary. It's not, when you say, hey, just like in your personal life, in your business, you want to make more, you want to earn more than you spend. That's called profit. Excess proceeds are called profit. And what you do with those dollars, what you do with that capital, is you turn around and put it right back into the business and continue to grow the business. Now, everyone will tell you, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. Now, the doing of that can be somewhat problematic and challenging. However, the more you put in, the earlier you put in, the faster it grows. And we talked about what the challenges were associated with doing that. You take less profit because you're putting money back into the business. You've got less cash flow. But you're also buying and buying and buying and buying and buying more and buying more and buying more and building and building and building. And then we've got another group of folks that we were chatting about this weekend who just wanted to buy, let's say they were buying 3 or 4 houses a year, and now they want to buy maybe 10. They want to do one a month because they want to take, 1 month off for the summer and the month of December off. So how do you build a business around that? And we talked about marketing. What's it take marketing-wise, dollar-wise, time-wise to generate deals? If you don't know your numbers, and this is what I spend almost 3 hours on the weekend, if you don't know the numbers in your business, you really don't have a business. What's it cost me to acquire an inventory unit? What's it cost me to get a house? What's it cost me to get a customer? Whether that's a house I'm flipping, a house that I'm wholesaling, or a house that I'm renting. There's a cost to get that customer. What is that cost? There's a time that you have to hold these assets. There's a time that it takes to sell them. What happens when they don't sell? What happens when they do? How do you negotiate the sell side of an asset, whether you're renting that property to a tenant or whether you're selling that retail? How do you manage appraisers? How do you manage real estate agents? How do you manage every little piece of the process? And one of the most interesting questions I got was, hey, do you have a manual that has all this stuff in it? And I said, I don't think manuals work. I don't think big books work. A lot of places I've worked, big organizations, large corporate companies, they have all these books, all these manuals that just sit on the shelf and collect dust. And I said, you know what? What you really need is you embed your expectations, you embed your value proposition into your business. So as long as everyone knows what the goals are and how they help, what they do to meet those goals, you really don't need an operations manual. All of that stuff, if you will, is baked in to the culture of your business. And that's a very high level question to ask in an introduction to real estate.
2 minutes.
I mean, that's not a question you get at most weekend events, at most real estate events. How do you ensure a continuing business that's profitable, that everyone's pulling in the right direction? One of the things Jim Rohn said is getting people to work together is like magic. And what he's really talking about is the culture of your organization. Now, I realize that we don't talk about this kind of stuff on the radio, but this is the kind of stuff we talk about in our weekend retreat. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in our mastermind class on Monday nights. How do you motivate? How do you ensure the performance out of an organization? How do you hire the right people? All that side of stuff. If you want to buy a couple of houses, that's pretty easy.
1 minute.
You want to build a business, that's a whole different game. One of my favorite quotes, and I shared it this weekend, I was chatting with a gentleman who is a real estate investor and just getting into the business, and he said, Jason, you know what? Most people don't understand. Business is a discipline. And I said, absolutely. This is a discipline. And it's a process. You've got a process to buy the houses. You've got a process to rehab the houses, to close on them, to sell them, to rent them, to wholesale them. We get back from the break. We'll talk more about the weekend retreat. We'll also take your calls. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
All right. That's funny. I barely got the studio together.
Did you know that there are over
Jeez, what a
$24
mess.
trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process,
but I'm guessing someone
and
cleaned the
recognition
coffee
for
maker
going
because
the
his coffee
extra
tastes a
mile
lot better
for
than it did
you.
last week.
This way, we have the energy to make this your
funny.
best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. We manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 5 years, Fast Track has completed over 500 projects, which has helped us create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 742-9992 or on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Politics is big business. In fact, it's the biggest business of all, and it directly affects every business in this country. Tune into Your Afternoon Drive each weekday at 5, where we discuss news and politics that impact us right here in the Bayou City. Remember the Afternoon Drive with me, Chris Blaney, weekdays at 5, right here on Business 1110 KTEK. Do your teeth hurt? Do you have cavities or need your teeth cleaned but won't go to the dentist because you don't have dental insurance? Well, you don't have to wait any longer. Cypress Creek Family Dental offers the quality dental program for those who don't have dental insurance. No deductibles, no yearly maximums, and no waiting periods. It includes 2 cleanings per year, an exam, and a discount on all procedures. Call Cypress Creek Family Dental today at 281-440-1050. That's 281-440-1050 or online at championsdentist.com.
Hear Andy because I'm leaving.
This is Business 1110.
All right, here we go. Hot mics. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Just got back from our weekend retreat here in Houston, Texas. It was a great time. We had about 30 folks in the room for 3 days. Talked a lot about real estate, but we also talked a lot about business. Because that's really what you're doing when you're buying and selling houses. Or you're doing commercial real estate. It's all a business, right? How do you get your leads in? Whether you're working with wholesalers or real estate agents or other real estate professionals, or other professionals that actually are in the real estate business, attorneys, bankers, those sorts of folks. How do you then convert those leads into deals? How do you convert those into sales? And I'd love to tell you, like what you could do 8, 9, 10 years ago. I'd love to tell you can just go on MLS and just make some offers. But that stopped being a viable strategy almost 10 years ago. I mean, I'll give it to you. Maybe 2010, you could still go on to MLS, find some really great deals. Now, I will say this. My idea of a good deal and your idea of a good deal may be completely different. For example, I want 20% margin in my deals. If I don't have a 20% spread, those things like, the unfound termite damage that you then have to go in and reframe a house, or the unfound plumbing issue underneath the foundation. When stuff like that comes up, and I don't have enough margin, who loses? Person who buys a piece of real estate does. Now, do I need a 50% margin? Absolutely not. But you've got to have enough margin in these deals to be able to make some money. And if something happens, it doesn't eat you alive. I get a lot of questions about the auction or MLS. And one of the challenges is, because you get into that bidding war, you end up paying more for the property. And a lot of these types of deals, the person that ends up winning, especially if you look at their experience, the person that ends up winning is the person that's willing to take the most amount of risk with the least amount of return. We have a lot of landlord buyers on our buyers list. When we send out an email, say, hey, we got a house for sale. In fact, if you want to be a part of that list, text properties to 95577. We send out our properties via email and text all at the same time. And we get a lot of landlord buyers that only buy houses in their neighborhoods. We talk about Mr. Famous, who's one of the guys in our mastermind group, and he buys houses in the neighborhood in which he lives. And loves doing that. He knows that neighborhood better than anybody else. There's not a lot of risk for him to do that. But if another investor goes in there and outbids Mr. Famous on a deal, you got to wonder what that other investor's doing. Because Mr. Famous owns that market. He will pay the most amount of money for those deals. So he knows that market really, really well. All too often I see new investors get excited, and I hear this a lot at networking events. Well, I just have to get a deal. I've just got to get a deal. And the question I always ask is, why do you have to get a deal? Oh, because I've been doing this for a month or two. I got to get a deal. Well, if you do a bad deal, it's really not a deal, is it? It's a loss. It's just a future loss. A buddy of mine likes to say, if you're not earning, you're learning. You're either earning or learning in this business. And he's absolutely right. Are you earning or are you learning? And the scary thing is a lot of folks will try to just get into a deal just to get into a deal. And they end up losing. Brant and I started a group, the Private Lender Summit. We'll have to put the Q4, Q1 summit together here in the next couple of weeks. But we started that group because we saw a lot of private lenders and small JVs that were putting deals together just so they could put a deal together. The more scary part of that is, well, we put this together because we just wanted to do the deal. We weren't sure if we were going to make any money, but we just wanted to be able to do a deal and learn how it works. Yeah, you're going to learn all right. You're going to learn you need some margin in these deals. You got to be making some money, because if you're not, you're just wasting your time. Tom and I met with an investor a couple of years ago. Really heartbreaking story. When we first met her, she said, I've been in real estate 20 years. Would love to come work with you guys. And when I hear something like that, I'm like, okay, well, why don't you come on by the office? We'll make some time and sit down with you. 20 years of real estate. So she comes in the office, we sit down. So 20 years of real estate, what have you done? Oh, I do wholesale deals, I do flips. I do this with this organization and this with that organization, and I do all these great things. Wow, that's fantastic. What's in your portfolio? Because when someone says they've got 20 years of real estate experience, I know what we've done in 3.5 years. I can only imagine where we're going to be in 5. I can't even imagine the fantasy land we're going to live in 20 years from now. I mean, it's just going to be wild. So when someone says, I've been doing this 20 years, I'm thinking, shoot, if you just bought 10 houses a year for 20 years and held on to half of them, I mean, you got a pretty neat little portfolio. So then the stories start. Well, I had this, and I get a lot of stuff under contract. Some of it closes, some of it doesn't. And mind you, this person's been a full-time real estate investor for 20 years. And when you get right down to the returns, we got right down into the dollars, the nuts and bolts, the dollars and cents. They would have made more money if they worked for minimum wage. Because of their returns and their margins, they would have made more money working for minimum wage. That's the sad thing. There's a lot of business owners out there that think they're business owners that are creating wealth, and they're not. They've got very little equity. They've got very small margins, very little cash flow. When you run into them at a networking event, hey, what do you do in real estate? Oh, I've been in real estate 20 years. I've been in real estate 15 years. I've been in real estate 10 years. I've been in real estate 5 years. Oh, that's awesome. Tell me about your last deal. Oh, I bought this house for this and sold it for that and, made this great. How many houses did you buy last month? None. How many houses did you buy the month before? 0. How many houses did you buy last year? None. What about the year before? None. So you're really not a real estate investor. Well, what do you mean? Well, if you're a real estate investor, you're buying and selling houses. You're buying and selling commercial real estate. Now, if you're retired, that's a whole different thing. But if you're retired, don't show up at the networking events. Because that's, the root word of networking is work. You're supposed to be working at the networking event. But if you're not actively doing deals and you're not retired, you don't have a business. You don't. You got a hobby. And that's okay. But when you tell somebody that, it's literally like you just punched them right in the stomach. Because they've been telling themselves this lie that they're going to be able to meet their goals, they're going to be able to retire, but they're not doing anything to achieve those goals. They're doing nothing. One of the most powerful things we do is track our activities.
2 minutes, Jason.
How many deals are coming in? How many deals are going out? How much are we spending in marketing, in time, and money? How many leads are we getting? How many offers are we making? How many contracts are we getting? It's real simple. Every organization I worked for, my job was to put numbers in a box. And numbers don't lie. They really don't. I think I'm going to do a video here, and if some of y'all have seen the political videos I've done lately, it's been amazing how many people have called me or texted, or I've seen them in person. They go, hey,
1 minute.
We've been watching some of those videos, and they've been excellent. Numbers don't lie. They just don't. In fact, the best part is numbers tell a story. They tell a story of activity. They tell a story of priorities. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. We get back from the break, we're going to talk more about real estate.
Join a group of hardworking investors willing to share their knowledge and experience with others. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Discover more at richradio.org. The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Join the Rich Club and become part of the most informed community in Houston. Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information you need to get started. Learn what it takes to avoid the pitfalls of real estate investment. You have questions? We have answers. If you're considering investments in Houston's real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to join the community and learn how to make money in today's market. Learn more about the education and community at richradio.org. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's richradio.org.
From Conroe to Galveston, Orange to Flatonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals and businesses across the great state of Texas. Whether you're searching for the best auto insurance in Fort Bend, a flood policy for a Galveston beach property, or coverage for your rental and investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage. Their commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977. Or go to TexasGeneralInsurance.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some urgent news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from PBS host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-422-3838 now to get your personalized copy rushed to you today. Do you want to avoid mistakes baby boomers and seniors can make when they buy annuities? Those mistakes now could be costly later to you and your family. Call 800-422-3838. That's 800-422-3838. Employees of J.T. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
This is Business 1110.
All right, Jason, your mic is hot right now.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. If you want to give us a call, 713-785-1817. So before the break, I was talking about numbers. Numbers don't lie. They just don't. Now, people can tell you a story, but I like the numbers better. You're a real estate investor. How many properties did you look at last month? How many offers did you make? How many houses did you buy? It's real simple. One of the things I like to say, whenever we talk about meeting with banks, institutions, individuals, about money and deals, the question I always like to ask is, what do you want to see? And it's not, I mean, you could sit down with someone and show them, hey, these are the kind of deals we look at. But I love bringing on partners by action. Hey, you guys want to borrow some money from our bank? Yeah, here's the 100 deals we did this year. All 100. Here's even the ones we lost money on, which are what the bankers are really, really interested in. Here's 100 deals. Here's the HUDs. Here's the pictures before and after. Here's 100 of our last deals over 12 months. You know, demonstrating competency is the way to grow a business, is a way to build wealth. There's a lot of people that talk about doing real estate. I mean, you can hear them. They're on the radio. They've got shows. They're doing radio commercials. They're doing commercials on the internet, on YouTube and Facebook. You know, it's interesting. We had a buddy of mine, Scott Carson, who's the note guy. If you guys are ever interested in doing non-performing notes, just Google the note guy and Scott's name will come up. And Scott came by our weekend retreat. He was one of the first guys we talked to about doing this real estate education business while running a real estate business. There are so many people out there in the real estate education business that are not in real estate. It is mind-blowing. How can you get up there and teach people about real estate if you don't do it? So Scott is one of these guys that has a really great real estate business, and he also teaches people how to do it. And that's very rare in our industry, unfortunately. But I guess it kind of makes sense. When you look at a lot of your colleges and universities, a lot of those folks are theory based folks. They understand the academics of business, but a lot of these folks don't run a business. And that's not necessarily bad. That doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means once you start running a business, you've got a different perspective than those that don't. And in the college and university environment, it's pretty obvious, right? Your professor that's doing research that has a lofty academic appointment and has a full class schedule is not able to run a business. What I find even more interesting are the real estate educators that hide the fact that they don't have a real estate business. I'll tell you what's fascinating. We had a number of our folks at our weekend retreat. We even had some of our mastermind students in the class to not only to sit through the class again, but to talk to some of the other students to see if they'd be interested in joining our mastermind program. And it's fascinating when they say, hey, look, I've bought 20, 30, 40 houses. I'm looking at taking it to the next level. Or I'm just now starting in real estate, joined mastermind. It's become, I've become really successful. And they'll say, the fascinating thing about Jason and Tom is you can call them with a pretty tough question, and within about 10 minutes, they can give you the history of what they learned on the deal that they did that had a similar problem, and they can give you the solution to it. And the only way to be able to build that level of experience is to do a lot of deals. When you do over 100 deals a year, you learn a couple of things. One of my favorite sayings recently that I figured out is totally wrong is when someone says, well, I want quality over quantity. I want quality over quantity. And then I always ask the question, do you know what quality looks like? Do you know what quality looks like? Well, what do you mean? Well, you've got to see a lot of stuff. You got to make a lot of observations before you know it's really quality. I mean, if the first and only car you've ever seen is a 30-year-old beat-up Honda Civic, and that's the only car that's on the road, is that a quality vehicle or not? What if the only car you've ever known is some really nice Lexus, $100,000 Lexus? That's the only thing you know. Is that a quality vehicle? One of the guys I used to work for who has really taught me a lot about business and working with people would say something to us all the time, and this is where I got my running my business by the numbers. Somebody would start talking about, hey, we're going to do this, and this is why we're going to do it, and then he would ask, or we would get some kind of result from something. And the one question he would always ask is, as compared to what? As compared to what? Oh, I bought 3 houses this month. Great. Is that good or bad? Well, what do you mean? It's 3 houses. Well, I don't know. Is it good or bad? As compared to what? Did you budget to buy 7 and only bought 3? Did you not budget to buy anything and you got 3? Is it going to meet your goals? You want to buy 10 houses this year. You bought 3. Where are the other 7? As compared to what? Our businesses are run by putting numbers in a box. In fact, I could take any organization I've worked at and hand you a table of all of the activities that we would do throughout a month. And I could take the labels off of that table, meaning the only thing that's on the sheet of paper is grids and little numbers in boxes. You know nothing else about the business. And you pick out one line, one horizontal line, and it says 10, 13, 7, 9, 50, 6, 4. And you look at that line and you go, I don't know what these numbers are for, but that 50 is high and that 4 is a low. And what does that tell you? Something happened in those two boxes. When you're trying to build your real estate wealth, your personal wealth, when you're trying to grow your business, you've got to be able to put those numbers in a box. How many deals did I look at this month? How many offers did I make? How many houses did I buy? We talked to some very savvy investors. And I'll ask them, what's the most profitable part of your business? And they'll say, it's like doing this right here, flipping the houses. And I'll let them explain their business model. And they'll say, hey, we want to spend more on marketing, and we want to spend more on salespeople and bring on more sales staff. And then within about 45 minutes, I can tell that's not their most profitable part of their business. Mind you, I haven't looked at a single number yet. But they're just kind of explaining how their business operates. And then I'll say, hey, you know what? If you held those properties for, let's say, 25% less time, and you made a couple of tweaks here on your financing, you could increase your profit by about 30%.
2 minutes.
And they say, what? I said, if you make just these few little tweaks, it'll have a huge impact on your business. People fit into two groups when they come to our class. They're the folks that are just getting started, may have done a deal or two, or are newer investors. And then there's the folks that are really experienced. We usually don't have anybody in between. We have really experienced investors and folks that are just starting out. And the fascinating thing is the very experienced investors, they totally understand what we're coming from. And the new investors are the ones that have just a little bit of experience, typically work in some kind of corporate environment that understand what it means to really run a business, what it means to put those numbers together. When you start collecting data in a meaningful way, I can sit there and in 2 minutes tell you where the problem is. The real challenge is when you're not tracking any of this stuff. Where are my leads coming from? Where am I making offers? Who are my sellers? One of the most fascinating things about this business is when people tell me, you need to go send letters to this type of house. Well, you buy houses from people. We buy assets and we buy them from people. We ought to market for both. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. I'll be right back after the break.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender, NMLS 514497.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832 833-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Looking for straight answers to your financial questions? Tune in weekday mornings from 8 to 9 for Straight Talk Money, hosted by Mike Robertson. No hype, no infomercials, just plain talk to give you the information you need to make you a better investor. We may not be able to control the future, but we can learn to control how it impacts us. Listen to Straight Talk Money, hosted by Mike Robertson, weekdays 8 to 9 a.m. on Business 1110 KTEK.
From Conroe to Galveston, Orange to Flatonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals and businesses across the great state of Texas. Whether you're searching for the best auto insurance in Fort Bend, a flood policy for a Galveston Beach property, or coverage for your rental and investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage. Their commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977. Or go to texasgeneralinsurance.com.
The Realty Investment Club of Houston has
Jason,
taught
it's
more
about
real
a
estate
minute out
investors
before
than any
you're
other
back
program in the state. Come
Do you
check
want
us
Andy?
out at
We're about a minute
richradio.org.
out
If you're
before you
considering
come
learning
back
how
on
to
the air.
invest in
Perfect,
real estate,
thanks.
then richradio.org is the quickest way to learn how to make money in the Houston market. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's R-I-C-H, radio.org.
Are you behind on your taxes? The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote at 800-207-1265. 800-207-1265.
This is Business
All right,
1110.
sir, your mic is hot.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. I was perusing Facebook, and some of the stuff you guys post in politics is absolutely hilarious. There's two groups. There's the folks that take this real seriously, and the other group of folks that just think that this whole thing is pretty funny. So I'm reading through some of these things when I should be answering questions. Let's go back to your business and wealth. I mean, folks, this business is one of those things that Jim Rohn used to say, you know, is it easy to get wealthy? Is it easy to create wealth? Absolutely. But what's easy to do is also easy not to do. And that's what we see a lot of times. You know, we're coming up during the weekend retreat this past weekend. I told everybody, I said, hey, look, 2017's already started. You know, you need to start doing things today so you can start increasing your wealth in 2017. There's a lot of uncertainty with what's going on in the market in 2017. I actually read a report late last night about hedge funds, and this is a record year, only second to 2009 for hedge fund redemptions, meaning people pulling money out of hedge funds. In part because of the because of the lack of returns. The other part is because of taxes and insurance and Obamacare and a lot of those other things. They're having a pretty big impact. Here's what I can tell you. After the election, somebody's going to have to do something. Now, that something is of course going to depend on who the candidate is. However, I can tell you, whatever it is, you're going to want to have more wealth. You're going to want to have more assets, buying more properties. You know, one of the biggest challenges I see coming down the pike is what we pay in taxes, what we get to keep and what we don't. I've said this on other shows. If you have a household income of $160,000 or more, you are the top 10%. And don't get me wrong, $160,000 is a great living. Comparatively, you compare that to the median income in Texas. I think in Texas it's about $45,000 a year per household and about $55,000 throughout the nation. But if you're making $160,000 a year, there's a lot of these politicians that think that is really, really wealthy. And you and I both know it's not. It is kind of middle America from where we're from. But you're going to have to shield yourself from some of those liabilities, some of those taxes. You're going to need additional sources of income, additional sources of return, of wealth creation for your retirement. The gentleman that does a show before ours is a Wharton guy, so graduated from Wharton. He's been a finance investor, managing people's money for like 30 years. And one of the things he says is it's looking like a lot like the 70s, 3, 4, 5% rates of return. Tom will be here tomorrow with Daryl Noble Mortgage. Bring all your hard mortgage questions. Stump the expert. This is Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Thanks for listening.